Well, welcome. I'm Chaplain Brittany Wooten, and I am grateful to be here as a guest preacher for the Open Table service. And I want to give a special shout out before I begin. It's been a wonderful journey of technology, and I think that there are a few people we really should say thank you to. So my thanks go out to the Religious Support Office, to Chaplain Grossruck, to Mr. Rodney Ray, and a special thanks to Chaplain Joel Taylor. Those people, plus a couple others, have made this journey easy and fun. Thank you all. See, our journey of life meets here today, virtually, for you and I to share community together. I'm excited, but also encouraged. I would like to know what your journey of life has done for you in the last few days. Maybe last few weeks, maybe last month, or even year. See, when I ask that question to people I know and love, it's because everyone's journey is so beautiful. Although journeys come along and sometimes they're easy and other times they are secluded and scary, every single one of our journeys are unique and beautiful. Every step of that journey leads us to be the people we are called to be by God. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for being on this journey with me and continuing on in the journey of your life. I'd like to share with you one of the ways that I particularly work through my journey of life, especially in the hard times, but in the good as well. One word: Disney. Well, I'm not a subscriber to Disney Plus yet, but every single Disney song I have ever heard, I have put into my memory. It's almost as if I use these moments to be the spoonful of sugar that helps the medicine go down. I take a road trip, the long kind where you get annoyed with everyone else in the car. Disney playlist engaged. When I'm preparing dinner, oftentimes you'll hear the random song from the kitchen, Be Our Guest, Be Our Guest. When I'm talking to my friends, sometimes reassuring them, You got a friend in me. I'm watching a movie and that moment seems to linger just a little bit too long. Sha-la-la-la-la-la, kiss the girl. And, of course, the infamous one, when you've had a hard day or a conversation that was really difficult. Let it go, let it go. I don't have to sing it on perfect pitch, but it still makes the journey fun and enjoyable, memorable. See, that's what songs have been for me in the entirety of my life, is that every single moment that I wish away the hard ones, or even the ones that I don't even realize I'm in, every single time that I try to push them away, I sing a song, and I get trapped in that moment, and I realize that that moment has value and purpose in the journey of my life. Friends, I want to take a moment to engage in a scripture lesson with you, because this Psalm 130, is meant to be one of those songs. The songs sung along our journey to capture us and to remind us that God is with us. If you're reading from home, we're flipping to Psalm 130. Psalm 130 also finds itself as one of the songs of ascent, Psalm 120 through 134. Out of the depths I cry to you, O Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to the voice of my supplication. If you, O Lord, should mark iniquities, Lord, who could stand? But there is forgiveness with you, so that you may be revered. I wait for you, Lord, my soul waits, and in your word I hope. My soul waits for the Lord, more than those who watch in the morning, more than those who watch in the morning. O Israel, hope in the Lord, for with the Lord there is steadfast love, and with God is great power to redeem. It is God who will redeem Israel from all iniquities. Along the journey, the psalmist has found that they have sought comfort but in the world and not in God. And so the psalmist promises to wait for the sun to rise. And I envision that scene as if the sun comes over the hills and the warmth of the sun greets the person's face. And as the sun greets their face, they see and feel and are reminded of their Creator. If I could meet the author of this psalm, I would shake their hand. I would feel at home with them, offer them tea, have a meal with them, because I feel as if they speak the truth of my life too. I feel as if they speak for all the things that my heart longs for, longs to know God's goodness, long and seeks God's renewal. I need God's renewal. I imagine where you sit today, you probably need God's renewal too, saints, brothers, and sisters. In this journey, each of us are looking towards God and seeking renewal. And I have to admit, as our brave psalmist did first, I sought renewal this week from all the chaos. I was walking, as I do oftentimes, mindlessly around the dog park on my 15-minute route, and I repeated a question about a half dozen times. Where are you, God? I'm not sure if I repeated that out loud or in my head, but I was seeking that question to find, where are you, God? And then, all of a sudden, I was coming around on the last stretch, and something hit me. Silence. That's a little unusual in a dog park full of rowdy humans and their pets. Silence isn't something I encounter very often. It even felt a bit uncomfortable. But I stopped in that moment. I stood there in the silence, and I realized that that was God's answer. Even in that uncomfortable moment, God was reminding me that God was in that moment. The truth is, in the silence, in the chaos, in the happiness, in the pain, in the suffering, in the joy, the trial, the success, in every moment of life, God is with us. See, God has promised us time and time again that God will be present with us. Oftentimes, it's not about God being present at all. It's about whether we take time to notice. If your routine has changed in the last couple weeks, maybe you've had some unexpected silence or chaos in your life. Maybe in those moments, you have found that you need to cry aloud as the psalmist did. Where are you, God? And as you take in those moments in the depths of your life, I pray that you take time to realize that God is present. When that silence hit me in the park, I felt as if I wanted to put headphones on or erase that silence for some reason because it was slightly uncomfortable. And yet I remained in it long enough to realize that that was what the psalmist was talking about. That moment in which the sun rises over the hills and greets them. They waited for it. They waited for renewal. As I think about those Disney songs in my life and the role that they play, I'm reminded that those songs keep me in the moment. That oftentimes they help me practice what is called mindfulness. That they take me along this circle of life, and instead of wishing those moments that are hard and difficult away, they keep me trapped in them. They allow my mind to be challenged to see that God is in fact with me. They keep me counting every blessing in my life. And so, as I reflect on that, I want to challenge you today. For in the midst of your journey and the stories that you are living and the journeys that you are on, I want to challenge you. You'll probably sit down at some point for a meal. And as you do, rather than thinking about who will do the dishes or what you'll do after the meal, every bite, make it count. Thank God for the sustenance to which has been put on your plate, and thank God that you have the opportunity to share in whatever community you gather. When you're in a room full of friends, neighbors, or even strangers, when you see someone across the room give a smile, savor it. Don't just smile back and move on, but allow that smile to rest in your soul as if God were greeting you personally. Whatever your spiritual practices or disciplines may be, every time you read scripture, pray, fast, don't just use that as a mark to check off, but as an opportunity to grow and be fed, to allow that to impact your journey in a real way. Make every moment count this week. because the truth is that God is and will always be with you. It's about us being mindful enough to notice that God is in those moments, shaping us to be the people God has called us to be. So remain mindful. Remain mindful and loving and kind and the saints that you were created to be. And as you journey along and take the steps of life that are valuable and important, I pray that you find renewal in God this week. Thanks be to God. Amen.